All sorts of issues having here with the encoder. It is completely crashed. We got it back up and running. This likely to be part 3 of the race. We're going to have to do this in sections, it seems. Again, my apologies. Not sure what's going on, but since the most recent update, this has been kind of a phantom occurrence with the stream just randomly dropping out without giving any indication of any kind of skipped frames, dropped frames, poor signal, none of that. It's run real smooth and flawless for quite some time, and now all of a sudden we have issues. But with that said, caution on the speedway just in time as pit stops were getting ready to happen, and it's Keaton Burnett, the 26, and he gets hit again way after the caution comes out. That is unfortunate. Man, oh man, someone asleep at the wheel. Let's take a look at it again. Keaton Burnett, the 26. This is off turn number 4, I believe. He comes to rest in the dogleg. Loses it by himself. Just slides the truck around. Almost saves it. Tank slaps a bit. Spin it. Tank slaps again. Does Brian Rose get through? He does. Barely. Matt Sisler gets a small piece of it as well. Oh, man. The 29 truck, I think that was. It got him at the end. Chris Elliott, again, I'm going to rewind this. Caution lights come on right about now. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 seconds after the caution comes out. The 29 comes in and nails the 26, and then somebody else after the fact. Who was that? Might have been the 66, hard to say. It was indeed the 66 of Sean Roberts, so we're talking 5, 6, 7 seconds after the caution comes out. 2 different drivers between 4 and 8 seconds after the yellow flag is displayed hits the stopped car in the dogleg. Again, this track, one of the few where the flag comes out and the catch fence has lighting on it to indicate the caution is out. It's very difficult to miss when the yellow is out. Pit stops underway. Again, this was just about the right time for guys to start thinking about pit road based on their last pit stops was lap 23. We're currently at lap 65. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, this is part 3, I believe, so far. I hope we even have a part 1. I'm not even sure if there's any record of that right now. We're having some pretty significant issues with the stream encoder dropping out, causing all sorts of issues. So, again, my apologies for that. You're going to have at least a 3-part race to look at once we get everything loaded up. Appreciate the patience, guys. This isn't typically an issue for us at HBR TV, but again, big updates from Windows and the like. I'm not sure if we've got to do some updating with Streamlabs, but we're going to have to get to the bottom of it. I may need to try an alternate encoder here next week if things don't get rectified. But again, nonetheless, we're going to record here. So this will be a tape delay. You won't miss too much. We've missed some of it just from resetting and software crashing and things of that nature, but we're going to stick to it. Trying to get this thing finished up for everybody tonight. Zach Millett with the lead still after that cycle of stops. Beats Drew Blaze out of the pits. Both drivers taking tires and fuel. Millett stop a 14.73. Drew Blaze was quicker, 14.63. But the other way around, Millett had less time in the pit lane, 42.47 total. Drew Blaze, 42.83. So there's the difference there. Overall gap, Zach Millett, 0.3 quicker total time in the pits, if you count the pit stop differential. Pace car lights are still on. We're going to jump away, get a break out of the way. Just make sure we take care of all the sponsors that are involved in this. We do appreciate their participation. Even though this one's been kind of wonky, we still want to make sure they get their due. Stay with us. We'll be back.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Okay, they called it off. One to go when you get to the line.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Texas Motor Speedway. Texas 201, presented by LSR Gaming X. Lap 69 on the board, about to be lap 70 as we go back to the green flag. Past halfway, pace car peels off, hits pit road.
Green, green.
Zach Millett still leads over Drew Blaze, though it's only a quarter second, the differential between the 315 and the 1 as they work through turns 1 and 2 after the restart. Lap 71 on the board. Brian Rose up to P3. Justin Johnson, Matt Daniels, the balance of the top 5. Sean Roberts, Ken Couch, PJ Cox, Chris Goins, Alan Duranco, that's the top 10. Again, once again, Zach Millett showing some serious pace here at the front of the field. We talked to Zach a little bit in pre-race. He remembers running a race here. I think it might have been in the Cup car where it was a very similar circumstance. He was out front, kind of running away with it, just running a blistering pace, and then got eaten up there at the end of the race. Caution out once again. Michael Cole in trouble, the 726 F-150. Take a look and see what happened with Michael. Off turn 4. Starts to turn in as the 22 is starting to come up. In the same situation we saw with Vince Short. Just gets hooked into the wall, and it looks like Bill Martin might have squeaked through there. Michael Cole, big hit. Puts us under caution once again. So lap 73 of 134. We're just talking about Zach Millett, reminiscing a little bit, not in a good way, about a race, I believe it might have been LSR in the Cup Series, where the circumstances were very similar. He had a good car, was out front most of the night, but by the end of the night, the rest of the field closed down the gap and just made him look slow because he'd burned up his stuff. It seems like might be a case of deja vu here. We're 74 laps in, still got some time left, about 50 to go. But you gotta wonder, is he saving enough for the end? It's hard to say. He's been on such a blistering pace, and even the fast guy like Drew Blaze can't catch him. Kind of makes you wonder, is Drew Blaze just kind of saving his stuff? Again, if you're just joining us, this is going to be part 3, I believe, of the broadcast. We've had many, many issues here tonight as far as the stream just randomly dropping out. It happened to us as well last evening with the Concrete Floors Next Gen Cup Series. Completely out of nowhere, just drops the stream out. No skip frames, no drop frames, just dead to the world. No warning in the encoder itself. So we're doing a record now. We're doing a tape delay, at least so the league can get their due. Guys can go back and rewatch and watch their performance on the stream, but definitely frustrating. I don't know if it's related to the Windows issue or Streamlabs itself. We got to dig into it. I have at times switched over to a different encoder to try and weed out other issues, but too late to do that right now. With that, we're going to go side by side, get another break out of the way before we go back to the green flag. Stay with us.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Texas Motor Speedway. Wrapping up caution once again, going back to the green flag here at lap 77. Pace car pulls off.
Ready, green flag.
Green flag in the air. Millet down low, Blaze to the outside. He's going to slot right in behind the 315 in front of Brian Rose. Millet, Blaze, Rose, Johnson, and Matt Daniels, your top 5. Drew Blaze takes over the top spot. Millet slips to P2. Justin Johnson trying to take a look to the inside on Brian Rose, trying to take that spot away. Johnson still battling on the bottom side. He's got the 89 clear, slides up in front of the agentdotson.com machine. I'm so used to saying Track Bar Media. Brian Rose slips to P4. Justin Johnson now into the top 3. Kind of talked about this early on, but now a new battle for the top spot once again. Millet going to the high side, trying to retake the lead. He's going to go back and look to see what caused that pass between himself and Blaze. It seemed to happen abruptly, but Zach Millet goes around the 1 on the high side and retakes the top spot. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Back it up a little bit further here. Drew Blaze making this move around Zach Millet. Actually started in the middle of 3 and 4. Back further than that. I hate rewinding like this, but the way tonight's gone, that's just how we're going to do it. There we go. Not at all where they said it was. So Blaze gets a run off of 2, down the backstretch, gets to the inside of Millet into turn 3. And there was the pass for the lead. Obviously, Millet has since taken that top spot back and now begins to drive away. He's got a 0.5 of a second advantage over Drew Blaze. Bobby Hall Jr. had an issue. He went off track for a moment, but gathered it back up. We stay under the green flag. Through these cautions, a lot of guys have been getting their laps back. You see Joe Tucker now only 1 lap down in 25th. Vincent Short 26th, 2 laps down. Meanwhile, up front, Justin Johnson on a tear. He's headed to the front. He's gone around the 1 of Drew Blaze, moved Justin Johnson to 2nd spot. Second through 5th, they're all battling for position, and the caution is out once again. Jeff Simpson in trouble. Off turn number 4, the 42 not facing the right direction, and Vincent Short way into it, hard on the brakes. Well, let's take a look at it. What puts us under the caution once again here at lap 85. Someone's not going to be happy about that one. Hard to say really from the angle. It's kind of a ways back. Let's stop, maybe look at Keaton Burnett. They definitely made contact. It was just really hard to say if someone came down or the other came up. So we're on board with Keaton Burnett. He's right on that white line. Got a nose in. 42 does come down. They do make contact, and of course, then the 42 goes around, and there you have it. Pit stops underway once again. Four tires and fuel for Zach Millen. He's down and away. Cody Anderson, he made a stop at lap 65. He stays out, is going to take the top spot. So Cody's going to cycle back around as the race leader. So drivers with fresh tires and where they'll restart. Zach Millett starts P2. Then it's Justin Johnson, Drew Blaze, Brian Rose, Matt Daniels, Sean Roberts, Alan Duranco, Dan Worthington, Ken Couch. That's the top 10. Everybody pit all the way back to Jeffrey Simpson in 22nd. With that, I believe Joe Tucker got the lead back on the lead lap. Lucky Dog was awarded to Tucker. Except Tucker has some more damage. Not sure if that was new or pre-existing condition like. 87 laps in. Pace car lights still on. I expect we get the one to go this next time by. So it'll be 88. Lap 89, we should get the green flag. And everybody fueled back up. We can go another 44 to 48 laps. It's going to be close. If we go green all the way to the end, guys are going to be running out on the white flag lap. It's going to be a close one. Pace car lights are off, so it'll be lap 89 when we go back to the green flag. It's going to be right at the end of that fuel window. It should be about 45, 46 laps all the way to the finish. That's provided we don't have a green-white checkered to worry about. That would change things considerably. You have up to 2 we can use if needed. I will say this much, though. Cody Anderson out in front. He does get credit for leading out here, but he is not good to go to the finish. I'm still trying to wrap my head around why he stayed out here. He's going to have to make one more stop, where if we go green to the finish, nobody else is really going to have to do that. Cody's going to be on an island all by himself, as he is here. Pace car peels off. Hopefully he does not spin the tires on the restart. Cody in the gas, nice and smooth. It's a nose out in front, crosses over in front of Zach Millett. Good restart for the 17. Again, fresh tires are going to prevail. Millett looking to the outside of Cody Anderson off turn number 2. Cody doing a decent job to battle back, but it's going to be all over here in the middle of 3 and 4, I believe. Zach Millett to the outside. Justin Johnson tucks in behind Cody Anderson. Cody doing a great job at battling back here on older tires. About 20 laps older than Zach Millett's. That's half a fuel run. Now Justin Johnson looking to the outside of Cody Anderson off turn number 2. Millett takes over the lead. He slides down in front of the 17. It's going to leave Justin Johnson in the 10X up top. Zach Millett with a healthy lead, about 5 trucks back to the 10 of Justin Johnson, half a second the advantage. Then it's Justin Johnson, Cody Anderson, Matt Daniels, and Drew Blaze. That's your current top 5 as we work lap 92. Battle shaping up here for position. Drew Blaze trying to defend Brian Rose. Brian Rose, the number 89, looking to the high side. Drew Blaze working around the lap car, the number 5 truck, a dude wipe machine. I'm not sure who is in that truck. Yeah, there it is, the 5 of Matt Daniels. Was for position. Daniels now running in the 5th spot. That was not a lap truck. Daniels runs P5. Alan Duranko in 6th, just in behind. And just ahead of those two, Drew Blaze trying to work his way around Cody Anderson for position. Again, Cody on an older set of tires. Doing a good job keeping that truck up in the top 5, top 10. But again, he's got to pray for a caution here. He's off cycle. If this goes green to the end, which, if the past is any indication, I don't think it's going to. This race has been kind of caution-filled. I'm a betting man. I wouldn't place my money on green all the way to the finish, but you never know. However, if it does happen, Cody's in trouble. He's going to have to stop, and it's likely to be all by himself. Likely go a lap down, though. He will have much faster lap times there at the end because he'll be on the fresh tires versus the rest of the field. Back out front, Zach Millett now with a 1.3 second advantage over second place running Justin Johnson. Justin's having a good afternoon. Quietly worked his way towards the front. He started in the 9th position. Here he sits in P2 late in the running. Drew Blaze started 3rd. He runs 3rd. Having a good afternoon as well. He's had a lap or 2 out in front. And almost like he passed Zach Millett at will, but then let him go again. Again, trying to save tires for later on. This could be the final opportunity. He may not hit pit road another time before this one's over. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Caution flag coming out would certainly change all of that. Everyone's going to come down pit lane, I would imagine. But then again, we saw Cody Anderson held his own pretty well there for quite a bit. They're on 20-lap older tires. Matt Daniels now back up into the 4th position in the 5 truck. Alan Naranco running 5th. Brian Rose, P6. Up 12 positions, started 18th. Cody Anderson started 7th. He runs 7th on the older set of tires. Still doing a good job hanging there in the top 10, but yeah, praying for a caution. Dan Worthington in the 113 truck. He's up 18 positions. Having a good race. Not a good day in the paint booth, though. That truck's a little flop-sided, if I'll say that much, I guess. Mike Fahey running in the 9th spot. The number 19 truck. He had an issue in the dogleg early on. He's battled back and made his way back into the top 10. Sean Roberts to his outside. Also involved in an incident. Burned that fast repair. Ken Couch, the 08 in 11th position. PJ Cox, the Sundrop machine, to his outside. He runs in the 12th spot. Wes Wiggin, he runs 13th, the number 88 Flex Motorsports entry. David Ballard runs in the 14th spot in Farmington Fire Rescue on that machine. Always cool to see that one. Bobby Hall Jr. had some time at the front of the field here, at least within that top 3, top 5. Finds himself mired back in the 15th position, just ahead of the 6 of Chris Gomes. Jesse Redding, the 721 Blue Help machine, runs in the 17th position, just ahead of the 83 of Thomas Hall. And then it's Brent Osborne and Jeffrey Simpson, that's your top 20. Millett now with a 2.1 second advantage over Justin Johnson in the 2nd spot. We've got 33 laps to go here from Texas Motor Speedway. Again, this run, if it goes all the way to the checkered flag, will be right at the end of everybody's fuel window. Curious to see if everybody makes it okay without it spitting and sputtering and coughing for fuel. Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze, definitely LSR teammates out there. I'll have to be curious to see how these guys have a plan to work their way back to Zach Millett, take this top spot. Sure, they're in communication with each other. And you got to wonder, is Zach just out there running this thing as hard as he can, along with Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze, saving their stuff till the final maybe 10 laps of this race? Or if they wait until they start catching Zach and go, all right, well, he's falling off just a little bit. Now it's time to go. Last lap for Millett was a 31.61. Justin Johnson was a 31.78, and Drew Blaze a 31.67. Millett still stretching out that advantage. Again, maybe he's just banking on another caution to come out. He's just going to out here and full send it to the finish, knowing they're going to get a chance to stop again, because he's got 2.5 seconds on the rest of the field right now. Again, 30 laps to go. It'll be 29 to go as Millett crosses the stripe. And I think Millett is in fuel save mode. Let's jump on board and listen. Yes, he is. Got the clutch all the way in on corner entry to turns 1 and 2. So as I said, this is going to be right at the end of everybody's fuel window. Zach Millett at the pace that he's running, he's at the front of the field, so he's got no draft to work with. So he's using as much fuel as that truck can burn 44 to 48 laps is kind of where everybody expected to be on a full tank of fuel. If we don't get a caution, this could get really interesting late. Chris Goins in the 5th spot, 15th position, started 20th. He's up 5 positions. Trying to make it 6 as he works to the outside of Ken Couch. Cody Anderson restarted this race from the front of the field in the first position. He has slipped all the way to 13th spot on that old set of tires with 26 laps to go. Off turn number 2, this is likely going to be another spot for Chris Goins. Chris Goins now up to P13. Next on the list is Bobby Hall Jr., the number 94 Flex Motorsports machine just up ahead. Goins right to the tailgate of the 94, drops down low, a little wiggle out of the 94. Bobby Hall Jr. on the high side. We've got 23 to go. Checks way up. Chris Goins closing in on the 66. It must have been something going on up in front of these guys that caused them to check up. Goins all the way up into the 11th position. Bobby Hall Jr. trying to battle back. Now Sean Roberts to the outside as well. Side by side, door to door, the 66 and the 6 make contact in the dogleg. Roberts goes up the racetrack. Goins in the middle lane. Bobby Hall Jr. trying to drop it to the bottom. He comes up, almost makes contact with the 66. This is the battle for the 11th position. Goins now changing lanes. He goes high off turn number 4. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze has taken back the 2nd position from Justin Johnson. Oh, Carnival, the 66 is Sean Roberts. Hard impact in the safer barrier. Looks like he lost a right front. Cuts across traffic. We do not get a yellow. 20 laps to go. Hard impact for Sean Roberts. He's already in the wall here. Let's back this up and watch it real quick. Goes down into turn number 3. Cody Anderson down underneath. Is there contact made? Yes, there was. Contact between the 17 and the 66. At first glance, it looked like Roberts lost a right front, but he goes hard into the safer barrier. We do not get a yellow because of it. So Zach Millett still out in front. 2.3 seconds the advantage over Drew Blaze. Last lap for Millett at 32.05. to Blaze's 31.96. Again, Millet trying to save some fuel for the end here as we've got less than 18 laps to go. That Chris Goins battle we were watching early on. It looks like Bobby Hall Jr. has checked out from that battle. He's up in the 11th position, 5-6 truck lengths ahead of the 6th. Now Goins has some company from Cody Anderson. His tires have seemed to equalize between the newer and older sets. And Chris Goins, he pit at lap 85 and got 4 tires. Cody Anderson pit at lap 65 and got 4 tires. And right now, staying pretty close with each other. Anderson's last lap at 32.25, actually a 10th faster than Chris Goins. And trouble up front, Zach Millett. In fact, Zach Millett has lost connection, it appears, from the sim. No, he's back. There he is. Big time connection issue for Zach Millett. We saw him all of a sudden fall through the standings with 15 laps to go. Definitely not something we typically see out of the 315. Connection issues for Zach Millett. Luckily, he's back. Very odd and unusual things happening in the internet world tonight. Of course, 2 nights in a row, we've had an issue with our stream dropping off suddenly. Now Zach Millett loses his internet connection for, looked like, almost a third of a lap. Luckily, he comes back, maintains the top spot. Drew Blaze 1.8 seconds behind and getting closer ever so slightly. Again, Millett's last lap at 32.03. Blaze the 31.97. They're pretty much matched. Blaze is going to have to pick it up. Again, we're getting late in the race here. I know everybody's concerned about fuel. We haven't had that caution that we kind of expected. Again, I said it before. If I was a betting man, I'd say no, we're going to get one. So far, we have not. 13 laps to go. Millett out in front of Drew Blaze. 1.8 seconds. Now Drew is second. Justin Johnson is back in third. He's 2.5 seconds off the lead. Battle really is going to come down between Millett and Blaze. They're still running within a 10th or less of each other. Even if it's a 10th every lap, it's not going to be enough to catch him. If Millett continues to run laps in the range that he is, Blaze is going to absolutely have to pick up the pace to catch the 315 and contend. Oh, Cody Anderson through the infield grass. Gathers it back up and continues on. Again, those tires are definitely showing their age. Now he's just going to have to try and get it home. And Cody Anderson's going to hit pit lane here nonetheless. He's going to need to do it for fuel anyway. So his last stop, that might have been him trying to get on pit lane the last time by. It's hard to say. Let's go back and take a look at it. So we got 10 laps to go. We'll look at this one quickly. Yeah, Anderson may have been trying to get to pit lane. It's hard to say. I don't know. I'm going to back it up one more time here and we'll go back to the live action. No, doesn't look like he was slowed up enough to try and hit pit lane, so he just lost it off turn 4, got the left sides on the flat, and around she went. Gonna take that pit service that he needs now. Car's gonna feel fine, truck's gonna feel fine for the next 8 or 9 laps, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Unless everybody else gets a caution and they hit pit lane, he stays out, but I think he's gonna lose 2 laps right here. I know he's at least down 1 as we've got 8.5 laps to go. Gap from Millett to Blaze, 1.6 with 9 laps remaining. Still less than a tenth a lap between Millett and Blaze each time by. We'll see where it stacks up this time. Blaze actually slower the second time by. Deficit now 1.5 seconds back to Drew Blaze. He is catching Zach, but I just don't think he's going to have enough time. Justin Johnson now running in the 3rd spot. Drew Blaze now has Cody Anderson to the back door. Cody not a lead lap truck, but he is on fresh rubber. That cost Drew Blaze about 2.5 tenths of time, and Blaze is loose off turn number 2. Gets it into the wall just a little bit, saves the truck, but that's going to do it. He's trying to get all he can to track down Zach Millett. It isn't enough. Only 5 laps to go as Millett crosses the start-finish line. Definitely some damage on the right side of that number 1 Drew Blaze Tundra. And Zach Millett loses connection again. Just like that, he comes back and he's out another time. This is not good news for Zach Millett. Right on board with Drew Blaze. He can still see Zach up ahead. He's just got to continue to run these laps. It's not over yet for the 1. He's 2.5 seconds behind, but if he loses connection completely before he sees this checkered flag, it's over. Two laps to go. Zach Millett still out in front. Luckily, internet continues to hold on. Millett down the back straightaway, still enjoying an almost 3 full second advantage over Drew Blaze. White flag in the air. Zach Millett, 1 more circuit around. He's going to take the checkered flag. Zach Millett, not fastest in the practice session, but fastest in qualifying, put the truck on the pole position. He's led almost all night long, except for maybe a handful. A clinic put on by Zach Millett. Checkered flag flies. He wins the Texas 201 presented by LSR Gaming X. Drew Blaze is going to take the 2nd position. Justin Johnson finishes 3rd. Dan Worthington 4th, and 5th goes to Matt Daniels. Zach Millett, your in the draft feature winner. Zach Millett parks it on the front straightaway here. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way, and hopefully be back with our top 3 finishers after this.
The great thing about youth sports, they give young people an opportunity to participate in something that is going to broaden them as people.
I think it's very amazing that Garza Law Firm has made a commitment to help the youth kids with playing different sports.
Guys like Marcos Garza that put their time into being able to help these kids live out a dream. It's made me who I am today.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Texas Motor Speedway, the Texas 201 presented by LSR Gaming X. Race has come to its conclusion. Zach Millett is your race winner. Let's go down trackside and get a word with Zach Millett. Zach, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Hey, Steve, how's it going, man?
It's going well. I got to ask, this is the first time in a long time I've ever seen you have any connection or internet-related issues. We saw you lose that twice tonight, and I thought it was all over. What's going on?
You know, that's funny, too, because I was asking Brian Rose if I was blinking at all, and he said he didn't see anything. So my screen was locking up a couple times, and it's definitely my ping. So hopefully that's just a weird deal and doesn't happen again.
Yeah, we didn't see anything either, and I mean anything. Like, the truck was gone for about a half a lap. You dropped about 10th in the standings, and all of a sudden you popped back up. Luckily for you, it made it all the way home to the checkered flag. We had our own set of issues here at HBR TV. We lost the live feed real early on, so we're on a full-on record here. We got a big tape delay we got to worry about, but never mind that. Let's talk to you, our In the Draft feature winner here in the Texas 201. Tell us about your night. You put on a clinic here tonight.
Yeah, you know, it went pretty well. We had pretty good practice beforehand, trying to see what the trucks were going to handle like in the long run. And I mean, hell, they're loose enough on fresh tires, but once you get 30 laps on them, it's pretty sporty.
Well, we saw even guys like Drew Blaze, who's usually very good at tracks like this, struggled there late on the older tires. I think the final run of the race was a full fuel run. That's the longest one that they had all night long without a caution. He ended up getting a small piece of the wall late. It's a handful. These trucks get difficult when the tires wear out. You guys did a good job of it. Just not quite enough for Drew Blaze. But again, you led almost every lap tonight.
Yeah, you know, it felt good. We really timed our restarts well. It was good when Brian was up there. You know, I felt confident when he was behind me. Yeah, you know, everything went well. It's the cautions really helped too. I mean, we didn't really have to make the green flag pit stops very often, and it was kind of like a leisurely race there for a little while.
Well, that final caution came out late. I think it was about lap 83. That set you up for, I think, a 45-lap run to the finish. We talked pre-race that fuel window was about 44 to 48. We did hear you saving fuel in turns 1 and 2 for a little while. How long did you have to do that, and were you just playing it safe?
Yeah, I was. And to be honest, I planned on pitting, and if it wasn't for Brian Rose, looking down at the right time and saying, holy cow, I can make it. I was short about a lap, and it really didn't take me long to save it. It seemed like a gallon a lap or so, give or take. And yeah, it was I think I lifted maybe 6 or 7 laps, and then after that I was good.
Well, it worked out for you. You made it home to the finish line, even with enough fuel to do some burnouts after the fact. Congratulations on the win, Zach. We're going to let you go, but before we do, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the Lonestar Racing League for putting on these leagues. They're a lot of fun. A great bunch of guys to race with. I'd like to thank you, Steve, for HBR TV and broadcasting these races. And my giant follower thing that just went off in the background, ignore that. And shoot me a follow at ThatS4Guy at Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram.
All right, Zach. Once again, congratulations on the win here tonight, and thanks for talking to us.
Thanks, man.
Zach Millett, your race winner. Next, we're going to pull Drew Blaze up into the broadcast booth. Let's get a word with the driver of the one. Drew, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Drew Blaze, a second place finish tonight. You started in, I think, the 3rd position, right behind Zach Millett. And unfortunately for you, you got to look at that tailgate a lot tonight. You had a moment where you made a pass for the lead, got around him for a couple of laps, but quickly lost it once again. I wasn't sure if you were just trying to see if you had the ability to get around him and then gave it back. Tell us about that.
I just wanted to go out there and get my bonus point for leading lap, and then I was back to saving tires.
Seems that that's kind of important here at a place like Texas Motor Speedway. Tire savings and these types of racetracks, we're very accustomed to seeing you run fast and well here. What would it have taken to get by Zach Millett there? You finished P2, not quite enough, and I know you got a piece of the wall there late, but did you have anything for him?
Yeah, I kind of, I closed that gap down. I mean, he was ahead of me by almost 3.5 seconds at one point on that last run, and I brought it down to a 1.5 seconds, and I mean, I knew I was there, but I think I just used up my stuff too much trying to catch back up to him. So, yeah, just trying to take care of the tires and was seeing how that went. We didn't really have too many long runs all night, so I didn't know how it was going to go, but just notebook for next time we come here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it during the broadcast, I would not have put money on that final stage. I call it a stage, but that final run, going caution-free without any incidents on the track. It was just about a full fuel run. I would have just expected a caution to come out. It didn't happen. Certainly would have changed the complexion of the race. I don't know, man. I guess it's like you said, it's a thing for the notebook for later.
Yeah, I really thought the tires would make a big difference there, but as much as I saved and lost on Zach, it didn't quite pan out. So just like I said, notebook for next time we come here, and even the future 1.5 mile races, I can run a little bit harder and not try to save so much because it didn't matter too much at the end.
Nonetheless, a second place finish, and looks like a fresh paint scheme on that truck. I like it. It looks similar on the left side, but the middle and the right, totally different. Tell us about the thought behind that truck.
Yeah, just wanted to go with something different, bring out some different colors, because, well, the left side is my usual color, but, just something a little different, add some more color to it, because I usually just run one color and then just all the neutrals. And, yeah, just trying to go with something different, see what, what looks best and what, yeah, we'll just keep changing it up probably, and, doing little things here and there, changing colors, doing little things, so.
Well, it looks good as always. Again, congratulations on P2, Drew. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank?
Oh yeah, just gotta thank in the draft podcast, Matthew Minnick, Lonestar Racing, the Dent Zones, GTR Simulators, Ryan Romer, Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, and just all my guys over at Lonestar Racing. And thank you for putting on the broadcast and everything you do.
All right, Drew. Again, congratulations. Thanks for chatting with us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Drew Blaze, your second place finisher here at Texas Motor Speedway. Next, we're going to go to Justin Johnson, our third place finisher. Pull Justin into the broadcast booth. Justin, it's Steve in the HBR booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Justin, congratulations on a top 3 finish. Don't always get to talk to you in the top 3, but it's good to see you. You had a strong truck tonight, up in the second spot for a while, putting the pressure on. Tell us about your night.
Man, honestly, just coming off a good week last week and then just having those positive vibes transferring over to this week and managed to keep the truck out of trouble and just go out there and have some fun with it.
We made some notes there with Drew Blaze with a fresh paint scheme on his truck. We see some new sponsors on your truck, if you want to go ahead and elaborate about that.
Yeah, man. So I'm sure the one you might be talking about is GTR Simulators. And yeah, we did pick them up as a sponsor. Anybody out there that's wanting to get into it, or if they don't have a rig, want to get a rig, y'all can go out there, check them out, GTRsimulators.com, and use the LSR10 promo code, get 10% off of any of the merchandise there. And they're going to hook us up with a sim rig to give away during our Toys for Tots event.
If I remember correctly, I think one of your drivers, Kevin Blue, actually won one of those cockpits at one point during one of these races.
Yeah, he won one last year for Toys for Tots.
Very cool.
We just basically put it on as a drawing, and you can pay $10 to get your name entered into that drawing, and one lucky winner wins a $500 rig for $10.
You know, we've done a bunch of charity races over the past, I don't know, year or so, and a handful with you guys as well. And I will say, you guys do the best job with the door prizes and the raffles and all that sort of thing. It's really cool to see.
A lot that goes in. It's a lot involved in that.
Well, back to tonight, you started in the 9th position. Again, you brought it home P3. How was it working your way through the field? Did you just have a crummy qualifying run, or is that kind of where you expected it to be and just let the tire saving strategy get you to the front?
Well, in practice, I went out there and I just kept practicing with either the 10-1 or the 16. That's usually what I do, and then qualified on the 10-1. Didn't work out, and then I was like, well, I'm going to try the 14 for the race. Try to go in between, and honestly didn't really like it all that much, but it did what it needed to do. I mean, I saved enough to keep it going right there at the end. It's just with 10 to go, I kept telling myself, if we have another caution, I'm probably not going to have a good finish here. Everybody's going to be on fresh tires. And luckily, it went green.
You made it work. A top 3 finish. Congratulations, Justin. We're going to let you get out of here, but before we do, is there anybody else that you may have missed that you need to thank?
Oh yeah, first and foremost, all them guys over at Lonestar Racing, man, my teammates, that there's a lot that they do for us behind the scenes, and we couldn't do this without them. You know, Nueva Designs for putting this paint on here in the draft, coming in as a sponsor for this season here in season 4, 2022. Can't thank them guys enough for the help that they're doing. Of course, GTR Simulators, Fahey Racer Apps, he does a lot of wraps out there for everybody else. You know, Blaze Design. Anybody that's getting paints done by him, give a shout out to him. There's probably numerous people out there, you know, Steve, for putting on such a amazing broadcast that you do week in and week out for us. We can't thank you enough for that. Of course, my wife, you know, for keeping an eye on them kiddos while we're out here driving the truck.
All right, Justin. Well, once again, congratulations on the P3 finish. Well done. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
All right, I appreciate it, Steve.
Justin Johnson, your 3rd place finisher here tonight at Texas. Kind of a home race for him. Justin out of the state of Texas, so certainly I'm sure he's happy to have a good run here tonight. Let's take a look at our race results before we get out of the booth. Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, Justin Johnson. We talked to all 3. That's your top 3. Dan Worthington was P4. Matt Daniels was 5th. Alan Duranco 6th. Brian Rose finished the number 89 in the 7th position. Wes Wiggin finished in the 8th spot. I'm still trying to get that one right, even though he's got it corrected for me. 9th place finisher Bobby Hall Jr. 10th went to Mike Fahey in the 19. PJ Cox was 11th. Jeffrey Simpson finished 12th. Chris Goins in the 6th. He was 13th. David Ballard was 14th. Jesse Redding was 15th. Joe Tucker was 16th. Britt Osborne finished 17th. Kevin Grettenberger 18th. Thomas Hall 19th. Jarrett Woodard was 20th. Matt Sisler was 21st. Ken Couch 22nd. 23rd was Vincent Short. Cody Anderson was 24th. Bill Martin 25th. Michael Cole, 26th. Keaton Burnett, 27th. Had a good, strong run going early, but had his share of issues. 28th was Sean Roberts. Again, another issue with Roberts. He got into the wall with some contact, I think, with Cody Anderson. Raymond Bailey was 29th. Chris Elliott, 30th. Michael White, 31st. Jonathan Arn, 32nd. And Shad Martin, credited with 33rd, 134 laps down, which means he did not take the green flag. I don't know if he was just here as a visitor or what the case may be, but nevertheless, 33rd. It's going to wrap it up for us here. Again, this is the part 3 of tonight's race. Probably not even watching at this point, but thank you if you have. Certainly do appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, like, follow, share, subscribe. Facebook.com/HBRTV1 and on YouTube at the same handle, HBRTV1. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful night.